You know what separates someone who dreams about success from someone who actually lives it? It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not even hard work alone. It's something far more powerful, and it happens entirely in here. Your mind. Welcome to the Growth Talk Show. I'm Maya, and today we're diving deep into one of the most game-changing topics you'll ever hear about, the success mindset. Why do some people seem to turn every setback into a comeback? Why do others stay stuck in the same patterns year after year? To help us unlock these answers, I have someone truly special with us today. Alex, a mindset coach, researcher, and someone who's spent over a decade studying what makes high achievers different. Alex, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Maya. I'm genuinely excited to be here. This topic, it changed my life, and I know it can change anyone's life who's willing to listen.
And to everyone watching right now, if you're serious about growing faster, thinking smarter, and becoming the best version of yourself, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you'll want to stay until the very end of this conversation. We're about to get real. All right, Alex, let's jump right in. So here's something I've always wondered. Many people want success, they really want it. They dream about it, talk about it, maybe even work toward it. But only a handful actually achieve it. Why do you think mindset plays such a huge role in this gap?
Maya, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And here's the thing. Most people focus on the external stuff. They think, I need better opportunities, or I need more resources, or I need the right connections. And yes, those things help. But the real difference, it's internal. It's how you interpret what happens to you. Two people can face the exact same challenge. Let's say they both get rejected from their dream job. One person thinks, I'm not good enough. I'll never make it. The other thinks, okay, what can I learn? How can I improve? What's my next move? Same situation. Completely different mental processing. And that processing, that's mindset. It's the lens through which you see the world, and that lens determines everything.
So it's like, mindset is the operating system and everything else is just apps running on it?
Exactly. Perfect analogy. If your operating system is outdated or corrupted, it doesn't matter how good your apps are. Nothing's going to work smoothly. But upgrade that OS. Suddenly, everything runs better.
Okay, so let's define this clearly for everyone watching. When you say success mindset, what exactly do you mean? What makes it different from how an average person thinks?
Great question. A success mindset, or what I call a high achiever mindset, has several key characteristics. Let me break it down. First, it's future-focused, not past-focused. Average thinkers dwell on what went wrong. High achievers ask, what's possible from here? Second, it's growth-oriented. They believe abilities can be developed. They don't see talent as fixed. Third, and this is huge, they have what psychologists call an internal locus of control, and they believe they're in the driver's seat of their life, not just a passenger. Fourth, they reframe failure. It's not a dead end, it's data, it's feedback, it's information they can use. And fifth, they're relentlessly solution-focused. When problems arise, and they always do, these people don't get stuck in complaint mode. They immediately shift to, okay, how do we solve this?
That's powerful. So it's not just positive thinking, it's a completely different way of processing reality.
Exactly. This isn't about toxic positivity or pretending problems don't exist. It's about having a more empowering relationship with reality.
You mentioned growth mindset a moment ago, and I've heard that term thrown around a lot. But let's go deeper. Can you explain what it really means at a scientific level? How does it actually change someone's life?
Absolutely. So the term growth mindset comes from Dr. Carol Dweck's groundbreaking research at Stanford. She spent decades studying achievement and discovered something remarkable. She found that people generally fall into two categories. Those with a fixed mindset believe their abilities, intelligence, talent, personality, are carved in stone. You either have it or you don't. But people with a growth mindset, they believe abilities are like muscles. They can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence.
And that belief actually changes outcomes?
Dramatically. Here's where it gets fascinating, Maya. Dweck did studies with students, gave them challenging problems. The fixed mindset kids, when they hit difficulty, would give up. They'd think, I'm not smart enough. They saw the struggle as proof of their limitations. But the growth mindset kids, they'd light up at the challenge. Their brains would literally show more activity in areas associated with learning. They'd say things like, I haven't figured this out yet. That one word, yet, changes everything. It keeps the door open. It maintains possibility.
Yet. That's such a small word with huge power.
Right? And here's what happened long term. The growth mindset students consistently outperformed their naturally talented fixed mindset peers. Not because they were smarter, but because they were willing to struggle, make mistakes, and learn. And this translates directly into adult life. Entrepreneurs with growth mindsets build more successful companies. Athletes with growth mindsets achieve higher performance. It's been replicated across domains guessed.
So let me ask you this, and I think a lot of people wonder about this. Is success more about raw intelligence, or is it more about the way we think? What does the research actually say?
The research is clear, and it might surprise people. Intelligence matters. I'm not going to lie and say it doesn't, but beyond a certain baseline, it's not the determining factor. There's this famous study, determined study, that tracked gifted children for decades. These were kids with genius-level IQs. The assumption was they'd all become wildly successful, right?
But they didn't?
Not all of them. Some did amazingly, but many had very ordinary lives. And when researchers looked at what separated the high achievers from the rest, it wasn't IQ. It was things like perseverance, self-confidence, and the ability to handle setbacks. Angela Duckworth's research on grit confirmed this. She studied spelling bee champions, West Point cadets, successful salespeople across the board. Grit predicted success better than IQ or talent.
So persistence beats talent?
Persistent. Directed effort beats raw talent almost every time. Because talent without the right mindset, it plateaus. But the right mindset with consistent effort, it compounds. It keeps growing.
Let's talk about something uncomfortable: failure. High achievers always say things like, "Failure was my greatest teacher," or "I learned more from my failures than my successes." But for most people, failure feels crushing. Why do you think it becomes fuel for some people but fear for others?
This is where mindset becomes everything. And I mean everything. See, failure is an event. It's something that happens. But the meaning we assign to that event, that's entirely up to us. And that's where people diverge. For someone with a fixed mindset, failure feels like an identity statement. I failed becomes I am a failure. It's personal. It's permanent. It's proof they're not good enough.
That's devastating.
It is. But for someone with a growth mindset, failure is completely different. It's information. It's, okay, that approach didn't work. What did I learn? What can I adjust? It's divorced from their identity. Thomas Edison, perfect example. He tested thousands of materials before finding the right filament for the light bulb. When asked about failing so many times, he said, "I didn't fail. I just found 10,000 ways that don't work."
That's legendary.
But here's what's deeper. He genuinely saw it that way. It wasn't just a clever quote. His brain was wired to process setbacks as data points, not defeats.
Can you share a more recent, powerful example where failure actually led someone to massive success?
Absolutely. Let me tell you about Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. She's now a billionaire, right? But her journey started with failure after failure. She was selling fax machines door to door, not glamorous, and getting rejected constantly. But here's what's interesting. Her father used to ask her and her brother at dinner, "What did you fail at today?" If they hadn't failed at something, he'd be disappointed.
Wait, really?
Yes, he was rewiring their brains to celebrate failure as proof they were trying, pushing boundaries, taking risks. So when Sarah had this idea for footless pantyhose, she had no experience in fashion or business. She faced rejection after rejection from manufacturers. She got turned down by every single major hosiery mill. But instead of quitting, she kept refining her pitch, learning about the industry, making adjustments. Finally, one mill owner's daughters convinced him to give her a chance. The result? She built a billion-dollar company from a $5,000 investment. No business degree, no experience. Just resilience and the mindset that failure was part of the process, not the end of it.
That's incredible. So failure isn't the opposite of success.
It's part of the path to success. Always has been, always will be.
Okay, let's get practical. Everyone watching this wants to know, what kind of daily habits or routines actually separate successful people from everyone else?
Love this question because this is where mindset becomes behavior, and behavior creates results. First habit, and this might sound simple, but it's profound. High achievers start their day with intention. They don't roll out of bed and react to the world. They have some form of morning routine that centers them.
So the whole morning routine thing is real?
It's real, but not in the way it's often hyped. It's not about waking up at 4 a.m. or doing 50 things before breakfast. It's about starting your day from a place of control rather than chaos. For some people, that's meditation. For others, it's exercise. For some, it's journaling or reading. The specifics matter less than the principle. You're training your brain that you dictate the day. The day doesn't dictate you.
What else?
Second, they prioritize deep work. High achievers protect blocks of time for focused, uninterrupted work on their most important tasks. No multitasking, no constant email checking. Deep, concentrated effort. Cal Newport's research shows that the ability to do deep work is becoming rare and therefore incredibly valuable. Most people's days are fragmented. Notifications, meetings, distractions. High achievers are ruthless about protecting focus time. Third, they practice reflection. End-of-day reviews, weekly assessments. They're constantly learning from their experiences. What worked today? What didn't? How can I improve tomorrow?
But be honest with me. Do you think morning routines and discipline really make that big a difference? Or is it overhyped?
A great pushback. Here's my honest answer. It's both important and overhyped. It's overhyped when people treat it like magic. Like, just wake up early and meditate and you'll be successful. That's nonsense. The routine itself isn't magical, but here's where it's genuinely important. Routines create psychological momentum. When you start your day with small wins, making your bed, completing your workout, finishing your morning pages, you're building what researchers call self-efficacy. You're proving to yourself, I'm the kind of person who does what I say I'll do. That identity shift is huge. You start seeing yourself as disciplined, capable, someone who follows through. And that identity influences every decision you make throughout the day.
So it's less about the specific routine and more about the discipline muscle you're building?
Exactly. The routine is the gym where you train your discipline muscle. And that muscle, you'll use it everywhere.
Let's talk about something that doesn't get discussed enough. Environment. How much does our environment, our friends, the social media we consume, the people we follow, actually impact our mindset?
More than almost anything else. And most people drastically underestimate this. There's a famous Jim Rohn quote, "You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." And neuroscience backs this up. We have mirror neurons in our brains that literally cause us to mimic the behaviors, attitudes, and emotions of people around us.
So if you're surrounded by negative people,
You will absorb that negativity. If everyone around you complains, makes excuses, plays victim, your brain starts normalizing that. It becomes your baseline. But flip side, surround yourself with ambitious, growth-minded, positive people. You'll start adopting those patterns. It's not even conscious. It's how we're wired as social creatures.
okay. But here's what I know a lot of people are wondering. What if someone comes from a negative background? Unsupportive family, toxic environment, no access to positive influences? How can they still build a success mindset?
This is so important, Maya, and I want to be really honest here. It's harder. It absolutely is harder. If you're fighting against your environment, you're climbing uphill. But it's not impossible. Not even close. First, you have to become extremely intentional about what you consume. Books, podcasts, videos, these become your new environment. You might not be able to control your physical environment completely, but you can absolutely control your mental environment.
So you're building a virtual environment?
Exactly. Every morning, instead of scrolling social media, you're listening to something inspirational or educational. You're reading biographies of people who overcame adversity. You're literally programming your mind with different inputs. Second, and this is critical, you need to find at least one person, even online, who believes in you. A mentor, a coach, even a supportive online community. Humans need witnesses to our growth. We need someone who sees our potential. Third, you have to create physical distance from toxic influences when possible. That might mean spending more time at libraries, coffee shops, anywhere that's not filled with negativity. It might mean setting boundaries with family members, which is painful, but sometimes necessary.
That takes incredible strength.
It does. And here's what I want people to know. Some of the most successful people in history came from difficult backgrounds. Oprah, Tyler Perry, J.K. Rowling. They used their pain as fuel. They decided, my past doesn't determine my future. Your starting point doesn't dictate your ending point.
All right, Alex, this is the moment everyone's been waiting for. Someone's watching this right now and they feel stuck. Maybe they're in a dead-end job or struggling with self-doubt or just don't know where to start. What's the very first step they can take today? Like literally today, to start thinking like a high achiever?
If you're watching this and you feel stuck, here's what I want you to do. Right after this video ends, take out a piece of paper or open a note on your phone. Write down 3 things. 1, what's one belief I have about myself that's holding me back? Be honest. Maybe it's, I'm not smart enough, or it's too late for me, or success is for other people. Name it. 2, what's the opposite, empowering belief? If you wrote, I'm not smart enough, the opposite is, I'm capable of learning anything I commit to. 3, what's one tiny action I can take this week to prove that new belief true? Maybe it's taking one online course, reading one chapter of a book, having one difficult conversation. That's it. Identify the limiting belief, replace it. Take one small action. Don't try to transform your entire life today. Just take one step in the right direction.
Start small, but start now.
Exactly. Because here's what happens. That one small action creates a micro success. That micro success builds confidence. That confidence fuels another action. Before you know it, you've created momentum.
And once someone starts building that momentum, how do they maintain it? What are some powerful daily practices to keep the success mindset strong, especially during tough times?
Okay, I'm going to give you 5 non-negotiables. These are practices that, if you do them consistently, will dramatically change your mental operating system. Number 1, morning priming. Spend just 10 minutes each morning in a positive, focused state before the world gets to you. Gratitude, visualization, reading something inspirational. Prime your mind like you'd prime a pump. Number 2, identity-based affirmations. Not generic, I am successful stuff. Specific, identity-focused statements. I'm someone who follows through. I'm someone who learns from setbacks. Say them. Write them. Believe them. Number 3, evening reflection. Every night, ask yourself, what went well today? What did I learn? What will I do better tomorrow? 5 minutes. That's it. But it compounds.
These are gold. Keep going.
Number 4, protect your inputs. Be ruthless about what you consume. Unfollow negative accounts. Limit news consumption. Actively seek out content that elevates you. Your mind is a garden. You have to weed it regularly. Number 5, community and accountability. Find your people. Join a mastermind. Get a coach. Find even one accountability partner. Don't try to do this alone. And here's the thing about tough times specifically. These practices become even more critical when life gets hard. They're not fair weather tools. They're your anchor in the storm.
That's so powerful, Alex. I feel like everyone watching this has the tools now to actually start making changes. We've covered so much ground today. Let me just recap the key insights because these are life-changing if you really internalize them. First, mindset isn't just positive thinking. It's your mental operating system. It determines how you interpret everything that happens to you. Second, a success mindset is characterized by growth orientation, internal locus of control, and seeing failure as feedback, not finality. Third, your environment shapes you more than you realize. Choose your inputs wisely. Create your own positive environment if you have to. And finally, change starts with one small step. Identify your limiting belief, replace it, and take action. Today. Alex, before we wrap up, any final thoughts for everyone watching?
Yeah, then I just want to say this. If you've watched this whole video, you're already different from most people. Most people won't invest 20 minutes in their growth, but you did. That tells me something about you. You're ready. You're hungry for more. And here's what I know. The fact that you're even interested in mindset and growth and becoming better, that's the first sign you have what it takes. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't wait until you feel ready. Take one step, then another. Your future self is counting on the decisions you make today.
Incredible. Thank you so much, Alex. This conversation is one I'll be thinking about for a long time. And to everyone watching, if this video resonated with you, do me a favor. Hit that like button right now. Drop a comment below telling me which insight hit you the hardest. And subscribe to the Growth Talk Show because we're just getting started. Most importantly, take one action today, not tomorrow, today. Because the only thing standing between who you are and who you want to become, it's the decision to start. We'll see you in the next episode. Keep growing, keep pushing, keep becoming.